This is the number one thing that I will have my eye on for the next 24 to 48 hours. All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to go through our daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. Bitcoin miners had a very big day today. We'll also talk a little CPI. I've made a few charts. We go through Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel, so if that is content you're interested in, please remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if everybody could please smash the like button, that helps the channel out a lot. It helps get this video out to more people, and I really, really appreciate it. Let's get right to the Bitcoin miners, because the Bitcoin miners today ran wild. So I want to go to the Bitcoin miner big board, and then I'm going to show you a few charts. First, I'm going to mention CPI came out this morning, which is the inflation data, so that is much anticipated. There is no Fed meeting this month, so this really was the big data point for the month. Last month, CPI came in at 9.1. That was its highest point in decades. So this month, estimates were anywhere from 8.7 to 9.1, and the number came in at 8.5. So that is below expectations. So that was very, very good news. Now, I'm not going to do the whole CPI breakdown. There was some good news in there. There was some other things that weren't as good. But the bottom line is we went from 9.1 to 8.5, and then I believe core inflation went from 5.9 to 5.9. So that was unchanged. So all of that was received very well by the market. We had a gigantic run up in the market. Bitcoin had a nice run up. You'll see when we get to the charts, the first 30 minutes was a gigantic run up, and then the rest of the day, not so much. But the Bitcoin miners ran up like crazy. So let's get to the Bitcoin miner big board. Okay, so you'll see 100% green today. No outliers. Every stock was up big, and the vast majority of these stocks were up 10% or more. CleanSpark was up almost 28%. So I did a video on CleanSpark. You can check that out right here if you want. I did that earlier today. They announced their second quarter results. So they had a massive reaction to that. They led all Bitcoin miners today, up 28%, nearly 28%. But Marathon was up almost 16%. Core Scientific was up 15%. I want to show you a chart I made just to visually put these in order. Okay, so this is literally just today's performance. So 13 of these were up 9% or more. And you'll see at the very bottom, here's Bitcoin. So from the close of the market yesterday until the close of the market today, Bitcoin was actually only up 2.5%. However, the stock market was very green as well. The NASDAQ was up about 2.89%, and all four major indexes in the United States had a very big up day. So it was an up day in the stock market, and obviously our Bitcoin miners massively outperformed today. So these are some of the days we've been waiting for. It's been 8 or 9 months of just brutal times in the Bitcoin mining sector. So I know a lot of you guys have been suffering and waiting for days like today. So here's the other side of the coin. When we do rally, we get things like 27.8% up in one day, 15.9% up for Marathon in one day. Everything was up between 8 and 28%, other than the laggers on the day were Mawson up 4% and DigiHost up 3.8%. So this is basically July and August through August 10th. So you're going to see Marathon is up 206% in the last 40 days. In my opinion right now, there's still two companies that are lagging. Now, I've been saying CleanSpark for the last few weeks, and today you can see CleanSpark took off. It was up 27.8%. But that only brings them up to 53% increase in this 40-day window, which obviously is great. That's a very nice move, but it's nowhere near their direct competition, a lot of which is up over 100%. So I'd also like to point out Bitfarms. What CleanSpark and Bitfarms have in common is operationally, they've been performing exceptionally well, but their stock is lagging behind. Even after all of these gigantic moves up, most of these stocks are still down between 75 and 85% off of their 52-week high. Okay, this is a look at Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. So you'll see this gigantic green candle right here in the middle. That was at 8:30. That is when the CPI data was announced. That came in at 8.5. So immediately there was a massive reaction to the upside. So really, all of the up activity today happened. These are 15-minute candles. It happened really in the first two candles. So you'll see we finished the day below where we were on the first two candles. We finished the day roughly where we were in the first candle of the day, which is just a 15-minute candle. From 23,070, we got up to a high on the day of 24,191, and we're currently trading at 23,806. It is now after trading hours in the US. So the US equity markets are closed. But you can see we had a quick run up, and then the rest of the day we kind of were melting down a little, and we bottomed out before the market closed, and we've been having a nice rally since then. So let's take a look at a few of the indicators, because we are in a very gray area. Like I said, this rally has been massive. It's been awesome, but I'm not sure how much more room it has to go. And a lot of the indicators that I'm looking at aren't showing me what I want to see. So I don't want to be biased and just keep saying go, go, go. I'm an optimist, but I need to be a realist. And so I just want to show you guys what some of these indicators are and why I feel like it's very neutral, and we still could break either way here. Obviously, in the very short term, there was a positive reaction to this data point that we got in CPI today. Okay, so this is Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame. This is the one I've been relying on the most over the course of the last 40 days to judge this rally. This has been very consistent for most of this time. The technicals have been very effective trading Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners based on the 4-hour Bitcoin time chart. However, the last several days, things have kind of gone sideways, and it's getting more and more difficult to tell what direction we're headed in. It seems like Bitcoin can't make up its mind, so let me show you what I'm talking about. First, I'm going to start with the RSI on the 4-hour time frame. If I zoom out a little, you'll see we had 1, 2, 3, 4 runs that were pretty predictable. They went from oversold. The first one went over here in the middle. The rest of these went from oversold territory to overbought territory, and then turned around and ran right back down. So this was an extremely reliable trading pattern for quite some time. However, when we peaked this last time, which was when we got up to this green line right here on the chart, which is at 24,679. That is our local high. That's the high for like the last month and a half. So when we peaked on July 30th, we have not made it back to that since. And we did not make it back to that yet today. Remember, today we were at about 24,100. This was at 24,679. We did not run back down to oversold. So this thing didn't really get a chance to reset itself. That's the ideal scenario. You know, to run from overbought down to oversold back to overbought, that's a reliable trade. But when you get stuck in the middle, we went sideways here for a week. 2 days ago, in about an 8-hour period, we ran all the way up to overbought from neutral, and then we turned right back around and got down to 40 on the 4-hour RSI. So now we've run back up again. So I'm not getting much information out of this. This isn't really telling me anything. Let's look at the MACD. There is no momentum being gained in either direction, and we continue to just crisscross, bullish, bearish. So again, this is why I'm a little conflicted. In the past, for the last probably 30 or 35 days, there was a nice window of time where I was fairly confident that we were trading in the right direction and that this rally still had legs. We still have not gotten to my price target on this rally. We got as high as 24,600. My price target was 25,366. I still think there's every chance we could get that because there's no Fed meeting this month, so that is not going to disrupt the market. And the next real major data point is CPI next month. So we're going to see what happens in the month between. It may depend more on world events or other news, because CPI and the Fed have been the two things by far dictating where the stock market and obviously where the cryptocurrencies and the Bitcoin miners have been going over the course of the last month and a half. And actually over the course of the last 4 or 5 months. So if I switch to the 1-day time frame, you'll see the yellow line is the 200-week moving average for Bitcoin. So as I've been saying on this channel, I've been fixated on that. We spent almost a month underneath the 200-week moving average. That's never happened before in the history of Bitcoin. So this was an extremely bearish period. That is why I believe we bottomed out in that period, because that really is the most bearish cycle we've ever had. You can see here on June 18th, we got as low as $17,567 with Bitcoin. That was a bottom. I think that was the bottom. We may revisit some lower numbers. I'm not saying it's straight up from here, and I'm not sure how much longer this rally has. So we may have a pullback before we keep running up. I do think that June 18th will have marked the bottom. The question is, where do we go from here? How much more room do we have to run? you can see we're struggling with this 200-week moving average. Days here on August 4th, we had a candle that opened and closed below the line, but the very next day we got above the line. Every day since we have opened and closed above this line, although we've interacted with this line almost every day. So we are hanging out around this 200-week moving average. We have not had a breakout yet from that. It is starting to look like it's establishing it as a line of support, which would be crucial. So if it can do that, then we could potentially have the next leg up. So I mentioned my price target at about 25,300. My next price target is 28,800. So we're going to have to see. I want to show you the daily RSI. So something's happening on the daily RSI here. This is also extremely neutral. I was hoping to get a signal on this today. With such a big violent move this morning, I thought maybe we would get a jump. But you can see on July 19th, the RSI on the daily time frame got up to about 61. It has not gotten past that since then. It retested this and was rejected about a week later on July 28th, and you'll see the last three peaks, including where we are right now, we have not even retested this line yet. So I think that ultimately is going to decide where we go from here. We need to retest that line, that 60 on the daily RSI, 60 or 61. If we can go past that and run this up into overbought territory, 70 to 75 is quite possible on the daily RSI on a nice run if Bitcoin keeps running. We're now almost 3 weeks into being rejected here at this 61 point on the daily RSI. So I am getting concerned. That's all indications that we're just running out of steam. This is the number one thing that I will have my eye on for the next 24 to 48 hours. If we can get back and test this line and take this line out to the upside, this is turning into a triangle. So at some point sooner or later, we're either going to break to the upside or the downside here. So the other option is, it would not be surprising at all if we just continued sideways, till the end, till these points meet and we break one way or the other. I'm hoping we break to the upside before that. Obviously, I'm sure everybody's hoping that, but that's what I'm looking at. That's why I'm much more neutral right now. I have been getting rid of all of my short-term positions in call options. I don't sell my stock, so I'm holding all my stock long-term, but I am getting nervous that we may be near the end of this. If I miss out on some of the run, I'd rather miss out on a little bit than hold on for too long. So we'll just close out on the 15-minute, and you'll see we're at about 23,800 right now, so we'll have to see where we go overnight tonight. But today was a big day, so congratulations to everybody who is still in the market and got to enjoy this giant run up in the Bitcoin miners today. So thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks.